What's going on, guys? Seth here, back as your coach of the Westside Weaviles, going against the Golden State Wartortles for my Week 3 match. So he has a team of Thunderous Therian, which is his unlimited Z user, Tapu Fini, Fortress, Drapion, Primeape, Rhydon, Dusclops, Decidueye, which is his offensive Z user, Volcarona, Blissey, Gothitelle, and Mega Altaria, while I am rocking the Landorus Therian, which is my unlimited Z user, Kyurem, Chestnut, Jolteon, Aromatisse, Ribombee, Regice, Scizor, Silvally, Incineroar, Terrakion, which is my offensive Z user, and Mega Slowbro. So he brought a team of 6 that consists of Tapu Fini, Fortress, Blissey, Mega Altaria, Volcarona, and Primeape, while I brought the Scizor, Jolteon, Silvally Fire, Incineroar, Kyurem, and Landorus Therian form. So let's get into this battle. I decided to lead off with my Incineroar because I'm predicting him to lead Fortress, which is exactly what he does. Now, I do want to break the 30 on this thing, and I do have the Fake Out. So that is just what I go for as he switches out into the Fini, probably predicting some sort of fire move. He didn't want to get weakened too fast. So making sure those hazards don't get up is a huge thing for me, considering I do have 2 fire types as well as the Kyurem. So I don't want to let myself get too weakened. Now, I am Assault Vest Incineroar, so I can eat up that Moonblast pretty easily as I go for the U-turn and switch into my Jolteon, my Thor. So I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch as he does not have any ground types or anything that can stop that Volt Switch, so I just go for it as he switches into the Blissey, which is fine, not a huge deal. This thing is kind of annoying, but I did build my team that I can do damage to with pretty much anything, and I end up just switching into my Scizor, thinking that I can do a lot of damage with Scizor no matter what, to pretty much anything, especially if he wanted to stay in. So I just do go for the U-turn and switch out as he goes into his Altaria. So I bring in my Kyurem, which is a Choice Scarf Kyurem to outspeed a +1 Mega Altaria, and I double into Jolteon, predicting him to go into Fini, which he actually ends up going into his Blissey. So I am just going to go for the Volt Switch and go right into my Landorus Therian form. So not a huge deal. I go into Landorus as he actually goes for the Tri-Attack. So he paralyzes me, which kind of sucks, but it actually doesn't end up coming into play. As you will see, I do not get paralyzed at all, but I am just going to go for my Rocks. Get those up just to hurt the Volcarona, obviously, and get some chip damage off on anything else. Goes for another Tri-Attack. He just keeps Tri-Attacking as I go for the Knockoff next. Does a lot of damage, gets rid of his leftovers. Goes for another Tri-Attack, and actually it doesn't take me out. I live on 4%, and I'm able to go for the Earthquake and knock him out. So getting rid of the Blissey was actually a pretty big for my team. It allows me to just get a lot of damage off instead of having that Sponge there. So I go for the Tectonic Rage as he's going to knock me out with the Gyro Ball. If he went for hazards, I could just EQ and take him out on the second one. If he goes for that Gyro Ball, which he did, I did a lot of damage back. So now I bring in the Jolteon as he switches into his Tapu Fini. Not really sure what he was thinking here. I did just go for the Volt Switch, which would have killed Fortress, and it does a lot to the Fini. So he kind of threw away his Tapu Fini right here, which actually had a decent matchup against most of my team. But it works out for me. So I am just going to go for the Bullet Punch, trying to get rid of the Fini, but he ends up switching into Fortress, which, as you will see, he is Rocky Helmet Fortress. So not a huge deal. I am Iron Plate Scizor, so I'm not taking any recoil and I'm not locked in, which is why I can just go for the U-turn right there and knock out the Fortress as I switch out into Incineroar. So I switch to Incineroar because I can fake out anything if I want. I can kind of scout his sets, what he wants to bring in, things like that. So I fake out the Primeape. He flinches, and I decide that I don't really need Incineroar anymore, so I do just sack it off to the Close Combat from the Primeape. Now at this point I'm thinking he's Scarfed just to outspeed a lot of things on my team. So going off of that, I go into Scizor knowing that a Bullet Punch will be able to take him out from this range. And he actually decides to double into the Tapu Fini, just sacking it off. So I do go for that Bullet Punch. I kill the Tapu Fini, and he decides to switch into his Altaria. Now, the Bullet Punch does not kill from that range, so I decided to switch out as he goes for his Defog, and he did not Mega Evolve, which is actually a smart move, because if I did go for the Bullet Punch, it wouldn't have done a whole lot to him. But I do just go for the Parting Shot after I switch to my Silvally Fire and go back out into Scizor. So I know I can do a lot of damage to this thing, and he switches out, basically telling me that he doesn't have any fire moves, so no Fire Blast, nothing like that, and just goes into his Volcarona. So I am going to double out into my Silvally Fire, scouting for that fire move from the Altaria, but he just goes for the Quiver Dance with his Volcarona as I multi-attack. So obviously multi-attack Fire does almost half, which is a lot of damage as he misses the Fire Blast, and I go for another multi-attack. So I get him down pretty low, and at this point, he hits his Fire Blast, and I'm just going to go for the Iron Head. So I attack the Iron Head for the Altaria, and if he wanted to switch that in, I could do a decent amount of damage to that, as well as it did kill the Volcarona, as you just saw. So I am just going to keep going for Iron Heads here, as this thing is not super crucial to the rest of the battle, so I am just kind of sacking it off, trying to get some damage off so that my Scizor can come in, Bullet Punch, and finish it off. So I am just going to continue to Iron Head as he decides to roar me out. So he roars me out to cure him, which is really bad for him, as I go for the Ice Beam and knock him out. So he brings in the Primate. I am thinking this thing is Scarfed. I am Scarfed as well, but I only have enough speed to outspeed a +1 Mega Altaria. So I know I'm not going to be faster than this thing if he's Scarfed, so I do just switch out into Savali Fire, sacking it off to see what he wants to go for, what he wants to lock himself into as the game is ending. So I can go into Scizor and finish him off with a Bullet Punch. So if that Bullet Punch didn't knock him out, I did calc it, and Stone Edge didn't knock me out. So I could have just gone for 2 Bullet Punches and finished him off there, but as you saw, the 1 Bullet Punch was able to get the job done. So Scizor has been super good this season so far. I think it got 3 kills in this game, something like that. It's got a lot of kills this season. It's doing really, really well. I'm super happy with this pick. Overall, I thought I played really well in this game. He made some weird doubles, some weird switches and plays, but I felt like I was able to keep the game in my corner, in my control, with Volt switching, U-turning, and just putting a lot of pressure on in general. So, good game to the Golden State Wartortles, and I will see you guys in the next one.